The high was 42.20.20, and he's an Elliottician. And Greg is going to be with us. It'll be interesting to see what he thinks here. But he had a five completing up here, 42.20. Now I know there are guys talking about 4,300, etc. But again, and why don't we take a look at something I haven't looked at for a while? I'll use the IWM because the Russell probably did not make a new high. Okay, Paul. So, yeah, we still never made a new high in the Russell. Can't say that it won't. Anyway, well, you know what? I know it's hard to get bullish a dollar. There's many, fundamental reasons. There's a lot of dollar bears out there, but let me just say this, that I'm not a dollar bull looking for a big blow off in the dollar. But once we get through this in the euro, 1930, which, I think will be the first stop on the downside, I think we'll see 117. And I think the Dixie could rally to 95. And that'll give me a long-term buy. And I mean, converting all my dollars to euros and Aussies when the Dixie is 95, just the cash and the trade, I think we could trade 114 again before we have a major buy in the euro. So I'm sticking by it. And, and part of it was, I was early. I'm still underwater on some of my shorts from last week, started at 1980, and sold it a few times here. And I'm sticking to it. If the wedge is right, 100% retracement takes it down there. So I'll bring the wizard on, and he'll probably be bullish and right, but that's what I see. And the SQQ, I know it's not a currency trade, but we're on the verge of having a 2-week reversal here, and there could be a pretty good rally if Nasdaq goes to some of the targets like last November's lows is what I'm looking for if I'm right and we're beginning to top out here. No one knows until we'll have to look back, in a few months, or we'll have to have some real good price damage to know anytime whether you have a real top or a real bottom. There's plenty of A tops and A bottoms, but significant ones, you only know it after the rear view mirror and price action afterwards to confirm it. So those are the two things that I see. If you had a tough week, it's not easy. I mean, look at oil. I thought that this right here was kind of a stop hunt because we just took out the prior high by a little bit when we did this, right? So I stayed with it and then boom, got taken out. Now we're heading down. So, we'll see. The gold, look how tricky all these markets are. Look at gold. Sure looked like we were going to break down. Look at this spike under the breakout. So, another lesson, you have to wait for closes, not just spikes. But, a close under 1760, it's a different story. Okay. Hasn't done it yet. But it seems to all be coming together if we get a dollar rally here and some risk off, that you'll probably see gold, roll over and maybe one more break in silver. I thought we'd get one more push up for a third drive. Didn't happen, but we start taking out the support. My target in silver. And when you look at the daily, does this look good? I mean, does this look strong? I know this was corrective, but you know what? This wasn't not impulsive. Anyway, I don't want to start talking about Elliott Wave. Greg, are you around? Or Blake? Maybe Blake wants to ask Greg a few questions, but before I hand it over, who
Wait,
had
is
a good
Gregor, is
week?
Gregor coming in today?
He Skype said he wanted to come in.
Oh, did I
He
miss
said
that?
he asked you and Steve, and you guys said it was all right. Like he needs someone's permission.
Oh, was this yesterday?
Yeah, on
Oh,
Skype, bro.
you know what?
Maybe it's I read it. He said,
Is
"Can
he
I
here?
come in?" I don't know. Gregor Horowitz, say
Uh,
something in chat.
let me look. Let me look. I don't see him.
All right. Well, then we'll go to the next best thing, Blake Morrow.
Stand by. Hold on.
We have great backups. Anyone ever read the NFL?
Oh, he said he is here. Okay. What?
Oh, there. Okay.
All right. Well, then,
all right.
Where is he? Let me.
Ever read the book Next Man Up? It's about the NFL.
No,
you never know. You have to be ready to win.
Right?
Anyway, my suggestion is that if anyone had a good week and doesn't have our service, to peel a part of those profits off and join, so that you could have more good weeks with us and help us make money with your great trades.
I'm looking for Grega, and he says he's here, but I don't see him in the list of people in the attendees.
Maybe he called in. He didn't call in, did he? Anyway, guys, I just do not think the medals are that impressive when you look at both of them. One more flush, and I know some guys are looking for 22, and that's when you buy the silver SILJ, something like that.
Hey, Dale.
Hey, Grega, there you are. How are you, buddy?
I will come, and I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Grega, where I was looking all over for you, and now I see you in the panelists. I couldn't find you.
You were looking in the attendees.
I just logged in, actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So
all right.
So go ahead, Blake. Well, Grega, you want you Grega grab the screen? Go ahead.
Yeah. Sure. So what we will firstly look at, the 10-year US notes, okay?
Okay.
Someone has to stop sharing.
Okay.
That would be Dale. Hold on. Let me, you might have stepped out for a second, so just give me I'll take over, and then I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so you can see my screen, and then
Thanks,
here you
Blake.
go, Grega. It's yours.
Yep.
Okay, Wizard.
Okay. So the 10-year US notes. Well, somehow, despite no tapering, I just think I cannot ignore this wave structure that I'm seeing at the moment. So I would not be surprised to see more weakness here. There's a better look here of this wave count. Keep in mind that there's still a very strong downtrend on the 10-year US notes, and even this recovery was not very impulsive there. So it was quite overlapping. So maybe this was a correction. In fact, what is maybe even more important is that on Wednesday, we made this swing low here. And
with the
then
Fed, yeah.
Actually yesterday we fell below it. So it looks like that market is more important than what Fed says. So in my, at least at this stage, so in my opinion, I would not be surprised to see more weakness here in the short term, and this could trigger some pullback on dollar pairs. Meaning dollar index could rally. And with this in mind, I would be looking maybe for more upside on dollar yen, maybe next week. At the same time, I just think that we should be aware of gold that could be maybe making a little bit of more complex current corrective structure that I'm tracking. So
It's going to flush again, isn't it? So yields, like everything's yields, right?
yeah,
Gregor?
I
So
think
and everyone I've been interviewing lately, including myself, is looking for a deeper pullback in the 10-year yield, maybe back to 120, maybe back to the breakout, and they're premature and I'm premature for looking at that. We're going to have another spike in yields here, and that could be the pin that pops, the balloon a little bit and risk,
when least expected, right?
Yeah.
So
okay, great.
I just think that overall, I think if you have the yields or notes right, you can actually position yourself very well on other markets.
Concur.
So with that in mind, I will look now at some other charts. I will now share different screen.
Be nice to the wizard when he's on the air, or he'll turn you into a toad. Okay.
Oh, is that what he's done to Steve? That's why he's so ugly. I get it.
Yep. That's exactly what he did.
Lovely,
and Steve, that wasn't very nice of him. That's when he went to visit him.
Yes.
You
true.
go out of your way and you get turned into a toad.
To a toad, yeah, true. What can you do?
Oh,
Life is full of surprises.
Yeah. So we're threatening that uptrend in euro right here, Gregor.
Yeah. So as I'm saying, if the 10-year US notes are really going to see maybe more weakness, that's the time for pullbacks on dollar pairs. And here we have still a very nice, very strong recovery. I think that there can be, of course, more upside coming, but just be aware of this pullback. The very nice support is at 1990 around there, or at this 1920 swing low here. So I just think that this could be a very nice actually opportunity to on the long side on the euro dollar, but after this free wave setback. So at the same time, there can be opportunities on dollar yen. Now, dollar yen here firstly made a very nice bounce away from this trend line. Okay, then you have this also 107.50 support, and more importantly on the hourly time frame, okay, we have rallied in 5 waves. So this basically means that at least temporary bottom has been triggered here at 107.45. So even if whole recovery from that swing low will be in 3 waves, let's say towards 110, there is room for more upside after this wave B, or maybe even wave 2 pullback. So as I said, while we are seeing the 10-year US notes currently turning down, I think that there can be opportunity on dollar yen at least towards 110 level. Then we will see if this swing resistance here will be taken out decisively, or maybe we'll turn back to the downside. Okay, so that's the story of what I'm looking at for the next week actually to unfold. Also, let's take a look on gold. Now, gold is acting very strong. I'm bullish on gold, but I'm just aware of potentially to be more complex ABC decline. It's not really deep decline. I would favor much better support if we see 1740.
Gregor,
Yeah.
you know what metal was my telltale a few days ago that probably metals have another leg lower?
Platinum.
Another
Platinum.
leg lower to when? Where?
To metals, to the
Yes,
metal
I mean,
complex in
where?
general.
In general, back towards March levels, you mean?
Yeah, if you look at platinum, technically, I think it's super clear and easy to read.
Okay, we can take a look at platinum later. But still, I mean, if I look silver or if I look gold here, I just think maybe we should be aware of potential continuation higher, because I don't want to miss the next potential move if that was a bottom. But as I said, not yet, as long the 10-year US notes are currently turning to the downside. So that's why I labeled this second support that could actually be retested. And we should be very, very careful here, as I said, with gold. Also, if I look at silver, okay, now here is silver, I can count 5 waves up from that low out of this wedge pattern. Maybe that's Steve only wave B rise, okay, wave B pullback, not rise. And we'll see only a temporary recovery, but still, I think that once we reach around $25, I think that there can be some interesting bounce, especially if the 10-year US notes will be at the same time already close to the lows, yields close to the highs.
What levels would you turn a little more negative in the gold if it took out 1760?
On gold, if we
Yeah.
see a daily close, let's say below 1720, and more importantly, if move towards that level would be very sharp, like a wave 3, right?
All right.
Then I would probably be looking for another retest of the lows, as Steve said. But the big picture probably would not change much. I still think that this could be a wave 4. I mean, looking at this chart appears to be a very healthy deep pullback. Also, if you look at gold versus euro, we are also close to this support as well, back from 2012. So basically, even if we see a retest of those March levels, I still think that there will be opportunities on gold later, or metals in general this year.
Okay.
Now, let's take a look also on New Zealand dollar. This one also has a very good structure. Firstly, daily chart here, I mean, very clear uptrend. We have higher highs, higher swing lows, while the recent pullback was made only by 3 waves. It was for 50% retracement. I think we covered this one last week. So now we are even higher, but at this potential swing resistance, which is clearly visible here on the 4-hour chart, 72.70, it is wave B swing high. So maybe we get this wave 2 pullback now. These are your potential supports after a 3-wave setback, when I would be looking for another jump to the upside here. Maybe even potential head and shoulders formation could be very nice here if we see a pullback. Now let's take a look also on ASEAN. Okay, here's daily chart. I think that ASEAN is forming a triangle here, maybe already finished. So I'm looking for higher prices on ASEAN. Even CAD yen is very bullish and been highlighting this head and shoulders reversal pattern last Friday, I believe. And looks like that this was a very nice and strong break to the upside. We smashed this target of a head and shoulders. So it looks like that this is wave 3 rather than something else, meaning more upside after pullback. Now the support for this upcoming 4th wave, the perfect one, would definitely be here at these former swing highs. So that would actually be a textbook example for a new bounce after a consolidation. Maybe now we will see some kind of a slowdown for the US session. We have end of the week and end of the month. So those pairs actually have seen some very extended moves, and definitely pullbacks are something that should not surprise us. Do we have any questions? I can look at crude oil real quick. Now, crude oil.
And Greg, I was just going to say, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt. We do have some Canadian GDP. Well, we have Canadian GDP numbers, and then some PCE inflationary data coming out soon too.
Yeah. Okay. You mean regarding CAD in general? CAD yen that I just.
Yeah. Well, we have Canadian GDP today. If you want to take a look at the CAD, that'd be awesome. Yeah,
I will look at dollar CAD, Steve.
Okay.
Okay. So dollar CAD here, I think it's a very strong downtrend. It should resume until we see 5 waves down here. from this spike high that occurred last week after Bank of Canada said that they may increase rates sooner rather than later. So I think that this for now remains in play. Any bounce will be seen as a wave 4. I have even intraday chart here. Resistance, the very strong one. But if we get that high, it would be at the former wave 3 swing high here. So I think that the next rally in 3 waves could be just intraday opportunity for more weakness here on the short side.
So you would just look to sell into any rally. I mean, that's kind of been our take since it broke down. And I mean, it's been such an aggressive move. So you would think that this would be, if it was to bounce here, it would be wave 4 or 5, correct?
Yeah, wave 4 or 5, yes.
Awesome.
5 wave drop, I would say.
So how did, I'm sorry, I may have just missed it. Did you look at crude oil?
No, not yet. I'm just
Okay, good. Well, then take us over to crude.
So crude oil, last week I said that we are probably in wave B. I was looking for potential top here on from a 10 days back or so after we failed here, but looks like that there was another retest. So it was a very tricky and tough situation here, but still, I mean, if we look at this structure, it definitely has a more corrective loop because of overlaps compared to the previous drop, which had no overlaps. So I think that this still fits to be a wave B of this wave 4, and like we discussed with Steve last time, wave 4 can also be something else, not necessarily to be in simple ABC structure. It could be a triangle. Okay, it could be maybe something else. But point is that if you think that wave 4 has finished here at March 23 lows, then it was a little bit too small compared to wave 2. So that's why we could expect and just realize that something more complex and longer in time disposed could actually be in a wave 4. But actually, whenever this unfolds, new recovery could show up. For now, crude oil and dollar CAD lost some kind of a close correlation, but maybe this one will come back on track when crude oil finally completes this 4th wave or consolidation phase.
Yeah, I feel like sorry, hold on, I'm sorry. I don't know why that I'm sorry.
Thought it's Steve talking.
No, that was a data flash for some reason. But I was going to say, you know, it seems like, or it's had seemed like forever that the Canadian dollar had been ignoring this move in crude, and it's like, you know, it looks like the dollar Canadian was really more affected by the move in the dollar versus crude oil this last week, obviously with the Fed.
Yeah.
So maybe that will reassert itself, that correlation here moving forward. But so we do have data in a few minutes, but I did want to let everybody know. Greg, are you still doing the week ahead video this week?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you know, the great news is if you guys really enjoy what Greg is doing here, he's going to be doing the week ahead video for Forex Analytics this weekend. So make sure you guys are tuned in. He'll give you a really good in-depth view of what do you think you're going to cover mostly? What are you going to focus on?
Probably, again, I will just review the 10-year US notes because you said with Dale, as we discussed earlier, I mean, if you have this one right, then probably you have half of the markets right.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, guys. So it's going to be pretty cool to have Greg in. Greg, I'm going to take over again because we do have economic data coming in.
Hey, thank you, Wizard.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
It's great to have you, buddy.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good to get his view. You know, one of the things, and I'm going to mention this just before we go into the data, and I'm going to actually just put it on the US dollar Japanese yen as we head in, or actually I'm going to go over to the dollar Canadian since we got Canadian GDP here. One of the things that I love about having Grega is when I'm doing something and I'm like, let's say I'm long I don't know. I'm long the Aussie dollar. You know, I might go over to his Elliott wave count and say, what's he thinking? Oh, he's looking for a dip, down to 77 cents, but he's overall he's bullish here, and that's just helps me confirm what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. And that's
I
one
know
of
what you
the-
mean. I do it too.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's
I mean, I bet the whole team does it, and most of us don't have to, but because we respect the work of the like Rega, it's still your own idea, your own timing, but it kind of it gives you a little bit more conviction. And then
Right.
when it doesn't work out, you could always, Skype them a nasty message, right, buddy? Know how to reach them.
That's what I do, at least.
Do you? Oh,
Of
Steve,
course.
yeah.
All right, guys. So data's
I'm full of
about-
nasty messages when I'm communicating with Grega.
Canadian
0.4
miss.
versus 0.5,
So
yeah.
that should help the dollar Canadian higher. Producer prices a little bit better year over year here.
Well, the Fed wants it to be higher, don't they? Want a higher PPI?
Yeah, and the PCE data came in higher than expected, US PCE. Now, that's interesting. I think the market was looking for a miss in inflation data. So the inflation data came in a little stronger, and the euro's not really being affected, nor is the cable really. The Aussie's a little weaker. I mean, if the inflation data is stronger, you know what that means? That means the Fed
Yeah.
is going to be a little bit more, the Fed's going to be a little bit more
No, it won't.
hawkish.
No,
Well,
it won't.
That's what the market's going to believe, Steve.
Might
whether
be.
you believe it or not, right?
But if the market believes that, it's going to be wrong.
Because they proved to you this week.
No, I said it before this week that the Fed is going to keep ignoring the data for as long as possible.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying. But how long as possible? What is their breaking point? And you know
Our
what?
guest yesterday said third quarter the Fed's going to start draining.
Yeah,
Third, fourth quarter. That guy David that we had yesterday.
right,
You
right,
can-
right.
And he's not a bear right now. He's looking for a melt up till that happens.
Yeah,
But
You can dream about it, guys, but you're going to be proven wrong.
I told him, well, maybe the Fed doesn't have to. How about that move in the 10-year from 0.5 to 1.7 wasn't the Fed, it was the market. So, yields could go up, except Greg has shown this could be a 5, and then we're going to have a correction. But I don't know, can't yields go up without the Fed trying to tighten?
yeah.
course they can.
Wait, Dale. I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt, but do you
ahead.
have a guest today?
Yeah, I have Dana. Is he here?
Oh, I don't know. I just was I was looking.
Oh,
at the
yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
That was it. Before we get
Dana,
into-
are you around, buddy? This is a reschedule. I don't. Anyone see Dana Lyons here in the attendees?
You can't see him. Are you looking?
Yeah, I typed in his name. Dana, if you're here, can
I've
you?
got the screen, so it's a little bit more difficult.
No, I don't see Dana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
either.
All right.
All
And
right.
this
Well,
was a
I'm gonna.
makeup.
You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. I'm gonna let Steve take over, and you guys continue your conversation.
Steve actually can't take over at the moment.
Oh, okay.
We could wrap
Sorry,
it then.
I thought we had an interview, so I'm currently not in front of my computer exactly.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right. I think I'm.
All right. Well, we
Probably
had 4 out of 5 this week. That's a pretty good hit rate on
Great.
interviews, right? Huh?
Yeah.
That's human nature. So I'll go with
Indeed.
it, and
Indeed,
we'll
it
have
is.
we'll have Dana back again because I do love Dana's work. Still, people are confused, even though I tell them 8:30. If they've been coming on for years at 9, even though you tell them 8:30, they go, "Oh God, I forgot." Anyway, everyone have a great weekend, team. Great job. You laid it all out on the court, like every week, and Greg capped the week, and a lot of good calls and pips, and Blake caught that upside in the crude, and And I was wondering after I got run over. in
No,
crude-
that actually stunk yesterday. Just so you know, I picked up the crude and then it dipped right to. I moved up the invalidation level,
Yeah.
and then it bounced like a bat out of hell, and I was like, man, that was really crappy. And then all of a sudden, it did take a nosedive this morning. So.
Yeah. So, and your Mexican peso trades, you and Andre, and some nice pips. And I think it was a good week considering we had to deal with the Fed, which kind of chops up the week a little bit. So looking forward to next week, everyone. And really, Friday is a great day to try us out. The minimum, do the trial, get the app. You're going to have access to the whole team for a week and really, check them out and go into chat and ask questions. And, if you don't like it after 10 days, I'll refund the $1 to you. Okay. So risk $1 to find out what hundreds have found out that we've helped. So that's it, Blake. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, have a
Steve,
great
you
weekend,
too.
Dale, everybody.
You do.
Okay, guys, and we'll get them again next week. So don't just count your pips or your euros or your gold or your GameStop. Count your blessings, and we'll see you all next week.
Oh, hey, by the way, before we say goodbye, I just want to let you know that make sure you guys visit Pepperstone Securities. And the reason why I say this, I had a interview with Chris Weston yesterday, post FOMC. So that video is going to be out in the newsletter this week. So make sure you're signed up for our newsletter, and so you get emails from us. And just want to let you know that. So thanks, Dale. Thanks, everyone.
All right, everyone.
Thank you.
Good hunting the rest of the day. Adios. Go ahead, Steve. Shut it down.